We've done the bug reporting. Now it's time to go back into more logic and more the core of the Busang tool. And basically, how do you handle different states? How do you handle an application which you don't know what state it is? And in order to understand that, we need to use very simple conditional logic. So we're going to create a module called conditional logic. Then the first thing we're going to create is yellow or red, which is a very, very simple test. And as you can see here, I made a mistake on the title. In order to correct a mistake like this, you'll just go and change it right here on the test case setting, and you're good to go. Now, the yellow or red is basically just like this. I'll just type yellow or red. And now, hopefully, when I double click here, it should open the right test case. Yes, it is. So now, in order to, well, you understand the game. You hit generate color. If you hit yellow, it's success. If you hit red, it's fail. And it's 50-50%. It puts yellow or red. So it's, for a human, of course, it's a very simple game to play. But now we're going to make sure that the machine can play the game too. Hit record. Hit generate color. And then the first thing you want to do is create an assertion now on yellow. Okay, that's good. So there's two different ways to solve this now. We could create two different test cases, one that hits the yellow button, one that hits the red button, and then we could call those based on success, the condition here, or on fail, the condition here, on that assertion, on that validation. But we're going to try something else called group and else group. So we're just going to continue recording. And the way we do it is that we hit the yellow button first. Okay, yellow, very good. Let's do it, right? Boom. That's success. I will create an assertion on that. And then I'm going to just basically stop the recording. Make sure I generate the color so it's red. So I'll record again. I'll hit the red button this time, because now it's going to be success, and I'll assert the success. So basically what we have now is a test where you press both the buttons, right? This is not ideal. So what we will do is that we're going to group this. So what I'll do is I'll take the validate exists, these three actions, and I'll hold the command or control key, right? If you're on PC, and I'll just hit this new group action. This is going to bake them all into a group. And I'm going to call this the yellow group, okay? Then I'm going to take the other two actions here. And I'm going to press the group. I'm going to put them into the red group. What we have now is, of course, if we just run these, they're just going to basically, they're going to run and they're going to hit all the different things. And they might fail, right? Because you're going to have, there we were lucky. It hit the yellow group, so it's good. And then it went on to continue with the red. So basically, what we want to do is, if it's yellow, we want to run the yellow group. And if it's red, we want to run the red group. So how do we do that? Well, the way we do this is we'll go into the yellow group, and on the conditions, validate if yellow, we know if it's not yellow, it's going to fail. So instead of continue to next action, we say break group and only report warnings. I'll save that. And then in red, I will take this group and I'm going to define it as an else group, which means if the group before didn't call break group, this will not be called. So now we should have a test that handles this conditional logic. So let's see if that is true. So we have two cases to test for. One is the result is yellow, and one is the result is red. So I'll hit this now, and we'll see what happens. Seems like it jumped over and managed to jump into the red group, okay? Now I'm going to try again and hit play, see if it works. So normally you should always reload the page so it's in the same state as before, and we're going to see what happens. Very good. And then you see it didn't enter into the red group. So this is a very good way when you have simple logic like this to handle conditional logic, basically. Do I take the left door or the right door? The typical use case for this is when you don't know the state of the application, you can adapt the logic of the test to be able to adapt to the state of the application. One way of thinking about this, let's say I want to make sure to add something to a list until there is like 10 items in the list. But I don't even know how many items it is when I start. So I'll basically just create a condition that keeps adding items until it hits 10, and then it exits the group and continues with the test.